All right, students. So now that we have talked about the steps for multiplying decimal by decimal using standard algorithm, we've talked about those actual steps. Now we're actually going to apply these steps to two problems, to two different scenarios, okay? And I'm going to refer back to this step page, okay? So please don't stress out about this, okay? We're just going to literally take it step by step. It's going to feel very weird at first, but as soon as you get the hang of it, you'll get good at it, okay? It just takes practice. Make sure you do the practice, okay? And there's a good chance that your parents still remember how to do this, so you can always ask them as well, because this is not new. This is the good old-fashioned way, okay? So the first scenario that we have is Mr. Smith buys 7 6/10 gallons of gasoline. He pays $3.95 per gallon. How much money does he spend on gasoline? So I could take 7.6 and I could add it 3.95 times, but I might be able to add it 3 times, but what about the 0.95 times, right? This is where multiplication is very handy. If we remember our steps, all right, our steps tell us, ding, 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 remember, line up digits, not the decimal, okay? So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick the longest one because this one has 3 digits. This one only has 2. I'm going to put that one on top. And you know what I'm going to do first? I'm actually going to write it. I'm just going to leave a small space for the decimal. I'm going to actually write it without the decimal first. And I'm going to do the same thing with 7.6. I'm just going to write it without the decimal first. Okay, got it? I lined up my digits, not my decimal. Now that I've got it all cute and lined up, now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in and place my decimal, okay? No big deal. It is 1000% imperative that you go slow. Do not try to get in a hurry doing this, guys. Go slow and write neat so you can see it, okay? Do not try to win any races while trying to multiply decimals. The faster you try to go, the more likely you are to make a mistake. Just slow it down, okay? I know that there's a money symbol here. That doesn't really matter right here when we're doing our multiplication, okay? So we're trying to answer the question of how much does he end up spending on gasoline altogether. So we're just going to multiply like we know how to multiply, and we are going to ignore these decimals. We're just going to multiply straight on through them, starting in the ones place. So 6 times 5 is 30. I carry my 3. 6 times 9 is 54 plus 3, so it's 54, 55, 56, 57. So I'm going to put my 7 down and carry my 5. I'm going to slow down for a second. Are you with me? If you need a second to catch up, go ahead and do that now. Pause the video and get yourself ready. Now lastly, we're going to multiply 6 times 3, which we know is 18. Then 18 plus 5 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So I'm just going to put down my 23. Okay. Now, just like always, I personally like to just cross these guys out because I've already used them and I don't want to accidentally reuse them again. I've already multiplied all 3 numbers times the 6. So now I'm just going to cross those out so I don't forget. I still have to put my placeholder 0. Even though I'm multiplying decimals, none of that matters. We just keep multiplying like we know how to multiply. We're going to put a 0 here just to put our placeholder. 7 times 5 is 35. So I'm going to put down my 5 and carry my 3. 7 times 9 is 63. 63 plus 3 would be 66. So I'm going to put down my 6. And I'm going to carry 6. See, aren't you glad we crossed these out so we don't get them confused? Now, 7 times 3 is 21. Okay, and 21 plus 26 equals 27. Okay? Now, I just add like normal. No big deal. Again, I'm still, right now, ignoring those decimals, not paying any attention to them. Gonna add up. Okay? So, 7 plus 5 is 12. So 6 plus 3 is 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. I'm gonna put down big O 0 here. And carry my 1. Do you notice me going fast? I'm not going fast. I'm taking my time. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 1 is another 10. Put me a 0 here. Putting my 1 there. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. All right, so now we've got a bit of a product down here, okay? Now the question is, where does the decimal go? So the first thing I'm going to do, this is where I go back up into my factors. And I go to the end of each one of my factors. I go at the very back, and I ask myself, if the decimal were at the very end of this number, making it a whole number, and then it moved 2 places to the left, and if it were here at the end of this number and it moved only 1 place, so 2 places plus 1 place is 3. So in other words, I could just go 1, 2, 3. Guess what I do in my answer? I come down here, I pretend like it's here, and I go 1, 2, and 3. So do you see we have a product? Okay. And we have 30, and we know that this is a whole number 30 because the decimal is behind it. So we have 30 and 200. So, yes, there is a 0 behind here, but we don't need it, do we? Or we can leave it. But we really don't need it because it doesn't make much sense, especially when we're talking about numbers. So our answer ends up being $30. He paid $30 and 2 cents for the gasoline that he bought all together. $30 and 2 cents for gasoline. Don't worry about that 0. So I'm going to stop right there and give you a moment to soak all of this in because I know it took a minute. The only thing new is just simply moving the decimal, okay? We will do more practice of this together, but please make sure that you have your steps nice and neatly. Either you print this out and keep it for yourself, or you take some time to really copy these notes down so that you can read them and follow the steps. It's the same as regular old-fashioned multiplication. The only thing you really have to do is 2 things. Remember to line up the digits and not the decimals, and then at the end, you just remember to move your decimal to the right place.